Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm here today with a fun flip through, an exciting bit of a launch for me of my new digital collection that is called Majestic Mycology Forest. This is one of two proof of concept journals that I wanted to create using my collection. So this one is called the Amanita Forest Muse. And so this is an image from my collection. I have sculpted these Amanita mushrooms, and two of the three of them have some woolly moss around here. This is my hand-dyed wool from our sheepies, and these are wired right into the cover so they are not removable, which means that this book, when stored, needs to be stored a little bit differently. As you can tell, these are 3D sticking out from the cover of the book. My kind of I try to create art and functional art, so this is still a completely functional journal. You'll see that when I open it up, it won't impact writing in it or anything of that nature. You just have to think when you store it, you would lie it down or you would stand it up or whatnot, but not necessarily stick it into a bookshelf, right? So that being said, oops, that's slipping out of there. So this journal was created inside of a vintage book. This is an image from my collection, which I have cut out and I have stitched onto a mat that is made from an antique book. There are black brads holding it on and 3 Amanita mushrooms here that I've sculpted and painted myself. This is an antique brass label plate with some handmade paper inside. This is some of my botanically eco-printed fabric. It's cotton. It's been stitched on to the book. I made that while I was away. And the tie is made from the same fabric here. This is a locally made Waldorf style pencil where the lead does go all the way through the branch, and that will come along with the journal. It just tucks on inside when you have the tie closed. It will just tuck in behind it. So we'll set the pencil aside for a moment. And so this journal lies very flat. It's not super gator mouth, even though it is a large journal. This paper is so beautiful, and I just wanted to keep the inside pages, which are both the same, very simple and beautiful. So the first page of the journal, when you open it here, is one of the papers from my collection of this kind of dark ethereal wood, and I have done a collaged envelope with another of my digitals here, these mysterious figures with mushrooms here. Lots going on here with book spine and stamping and washi tape. It's a fun collage. Inside are one of my blackwork illustrations from my collection. So as I state my collection through this, it is the Majestic Mycology Forest. So there's some words about hemlock here on the back of this envelope, and this is a book page from a book about meadows. It's got really beautiful vintage illustrations, some coffee dyed paper. This is an Italian fungi book page, a little pocket I've made here from book page from a plant book. Both this image and then this image that slips into the pocket are from my collection. The paper at back is not. It's a little journal tag. And the quote is from the collection as well. It's from K.J. Bishop. "The goodness of the world grew like moss in cracks," she thought. "It grew somehow with hidden roots, nourished by something unseen." And then on this page, this is another Italian fungi book page, and an image from my collection is this little tuck here. And some of you may recognize this image. This is the Gaia image that I made during our recent spring or summer camp takeover. Sunbeams shone down. So that's a fun journal card. And this is some of my hand-dyed green paper, some Tim Holtz paper, a little avocado dyed pocket on an index card here, and this is some eco-printed fabric, and then one of the images from my kit on a little tag. So it's like a little clustery kind of pocket, and this is a journal card made from the back cover of a Dutch magazine called Fleur. This is an Audubon book page with some beautiful woodpeckers. You'll see this lace all throughout the book. It's all hand dyed by me. This is from the Flower Press book, and I've made a little double pocket with it with one of my kit images. Inside is some handmade paper with one of the labels from my kit that says Bolete, and some hand-dyed fabric. It flips open for double writing space. And there is a little thumb hole here, so you can open this pocket up to slip it on in there. Tuck, tuck, tuck. And in behind we have a couple things. So this was really fun. I loved this vintage postcard. It's all green, which goes with everything so well. Robin's Nest, Route 5, Richmond, Quebec Highway. So it's really funny that this is a Quebec postcard, because that's where I was when I was conceptualizing all of this. And this is a cabbage dyed botanical page, coffee dyed paper with a mushroom stamp, a little cluster that I've made here with some watercolor mushrooms, some stitching, some birch bark, and a little bit of lace. This is from my kit. This is a very fun landscape with some rocky outcrops and some blue flowers. Some coffee dyed paper, more Audubon birds. This is a large envelope. I actually put like a ton of work into this. This was from Defemorember, and I've been kind of hanging on to it for the right journal. So this just unwinds from here. You'll see I've done printing with some pine, and I've added a pine warbler and some really nice coffee dyed lace, and it's a little bit of a paper ruffle here. This is actually a faux piece of pine, because I wouldn't have wanted to use a real one. It would have eventually fallen apart over time. Some fabric up here. We have an eyelet and a brad, and some corrugated paper there. And then inside of this big envelope, we have these cute frogs. This is another journal card made from the back cover of one of those floor magazines from Holland. And that just tucks in there, and this jute just wraps right around this brad. And this is a little tarot card here of this girl sitting on a toadstool with a caterpillar. And this is cabbage dyed telephone book page with one of my mycology labels from the kit. Tim Holtz paper, green dyed paper. This is sort of a clustery pocket. I made it on an avocado dyed envelope. These two images are from my kit. And this is just a button card with a mushroom and a fairy here. Just a journal card that I made on some fun paper. And this is some coffee dyed paper. This is a stamp here. I've made this pocket and a quote from my kit. Falling in love is like eating mushrooms. You never know if it's the real thing until it's too late. Bill Balance. And this is one of those meadow pages. This is an index card with morel mushrooms, a bit of wool for moss, lace and flowers, washi tape, birch bark, all sorts of fun things to collage. A meadow book page and a little mushroom stamp. Another page from my kit, and this is another piece of ephemera from my kit, this blackwork illustration, and it just flips open, and we have a little morel cutout here also from my kit. Some green dyed paper. This is Vintage Field Guide, a key to the trees, seeing trees, coffee dyed paper with a little mushroom stamp. This is a collaged pocket with some of my eco-printed fabric. These are sumac leaves. And inside is this lovely fall Forest Muse from my kit. And it's on that Italian fungi book page. This just tips out for more fun illustrations. These two pieces are both from my kit, and this is on my Bolete printed paper that I made while I was away. Both this image and this quote are from my kit. Lying on a soft bed of moss, viewing the cobalt blue sky painted with thick impastoed layers of clouds framed sumptuously with swaying trees and dancing leaves is the best way to view nature's museum. Kang Kajaro Nguyen. This is some cork paper behind here, or cork, not paper. This is a beautiful scrapbook paper page. This is a telephone book page with telephone book type page with this lovely landscape. This little pocket is from my kit, and these are a couple of fun little tickets that I made. This is another page from my kit. Another telephone book page. This is a little pocket that I made. It's got this sweet little bird, and we have a little hole here and some nice botanical stationery. Just some nice scrapbook paper and some more cork. This is a little image from my kit. Bolete printing and Italian fungi book page. We have a little pocket here with this Boletus Carpini label from that Italian book. This image, as well as the one on the tag and this label, are all from my kit. Coffee dyed paper. More of the vintage field guide about trees. There's a mushroom stamp, dyed paper, another page from my kit, mushrooms, coffee dyed paper. This is a belly band from my kit that says, "The rain increases and umbrellas sprout like mushrooms amongst the graves," from Erin Morgenstern. That's a bit of a darker image. I really like the feel of that one. And then this little sweet mushroom envelope with this little card inside is from the artist Nathalie Lett, and I love her. I love her work. Another mushroom lover. A cute little hedgehog. And that just tucks on in here. And then we have this little fawn boy. He's so sweet. And this is from my kit. And then this is the Italian book page again, fungi book page. And then more of my hand-dyed paper. This is scrapbook paper and a little cluster that I made with some hand-painted chanterelles and a little birch bark and some lace. One of my labels here that says chanterelle. Avocado dyed paper. This is from the Flower Press book, and it has some hand-dyed lace, coffee dyed paper. Hopefully the glare isn't too much and you can see this squirrel. And these are real milkweed seeds underneath here. This has been laminated closed, and it's a pocket. And then we have this Forest Muse inside. She's a journaling card. And then some Audubon birds. These are common eater. And a little tea card that I made of the Gryphalcon. Coffee dyed paper, Flower Press book page, some information about forget-me-nots, some avocado dyed paper. This is a little magnetic envelope here that I've made. So it has this lovely butterfly and ferns on the front. You open it up and it has two little tuck spots with my ephemera from my kit of these lovely mossy character and some mushrooms. And on back we have a little collage here of some stickers. This little mushroom kind of princess. And that just sits here and has a magnet so it just sticks on. This is some hand-dyed paper, some of the Italian fungi book. This pocket and this journal card are both from my kit. I really love this painting. Coffee dyed paper, a stamp of this beautiful tree. This is a page from my kit and some Edith Holden. A quote from my kit: "September is different than all other months. It is more magical. I feel the strange chemical change in the earth, which produces mushrooms, is the cause too of the extra life in the air, a resilience, a sparkle." Catherine Mansfield. Coffee dyed paper with a mushroom stamp. This little tuck spot of this little plant girl here. This is a large journal card that I made with a batik kind of method. So you'll see the wax here. So this was stamped with an Indian Jap, which is like a hand carved wooden stamp used for making like sarongs, batik work. And I've waxed this bird here from an Audubon book on. So this whole thing has a really nice texture to it. It's just fun to hold on to. Then some gilding. This is the contents book of a tree book, which you'll see a little more of back here. It's got beautiful illustrations. Coffee dyed paper, some scrapbook with gold glitter paper. This is telephone book with beautiful images. Avocado dyed paper, This is one of my characters from my digital. And then this sort of 3 layers of mushrooms, sort of all the excitement underground. This is another piece of ephemera from my kit. This labyrinth spread is from my kit. Avocado dyed paper. More of that telephone book. This is from Erica Bauermeister's The Scent Keeper. It's a quote that's part of my kit. Forager's feast, my father would say, and we'd set out into the woods, cedar bark baskets in our hands. In the summer, we harvested bright red huckleberries and salal berries so dark blue that they looked like night in your hand. In the fall, we found mushrooms hiding under the trees. I was captivated by the convoluted morels, each one a labyrinth of nooks and crannies. And see, you know, I just showed you this labyrinth, and yeah, there's a lot of symbolism, and I spent a lot of time thinking about what I put into this kit. Some coffee dyed paper. This is a pocket from my kit, and inside we have some Tim Holtz paper. Just fun writing space with this little bug tag here on the front. That's on a vintage book page with some beautiful flowers. And on this side, it's showing like how leaves grow in that whole cycle. And some coffee dyed paper with some stamping. And some hand dyed paper. Edith Holden. This is a Painterly Forest page from my kit. Some oak leaf stamping. This little image here of this mushroom girl on this paper is part of my kit, as is the Amanita label. And in this little tuck spot is this tag from my kit that says, "Nature alone is antique, the oldest art a mushroom," from Thomas Carlyle. And this is a French encyclopedia page of this sweet little bird. This side we have sort of a triple pocket with these lovely birds made on handmade paper, and it has 3 pieces of ephemera from my kit, our mossy man here, and some glowing little mushrooms around a tree, and a little black work piece of ephemera with mushrooms. Some scrapbook paper, Wild Daffodil from the Flower Press book, coffee dyed paper. This is a pocket that I've layered with 4 pieces of ephemera from my kit. So Beneath the Soil, these mushroom images, and our mossy girl here. And this is a collage tag that I made. It says Deep in the Forest, and it has some actual wood branches and a wood circle here, some sequins and fabric. Some of the Italian book page from the Fungi book. And then this is a fun belly band that I made with paper and fabric that has been eco-printed. So you'll see those gray, those leafy marks. It's printed with birch. And so this is the little tabbed journal card. It's just very free form in shape, and it tucks into the fabric part of this belly band. And then behind it, you'll see there's an Italian book page there. We have our Water Lily Forest Muse, and that just tucks in there as a big journal card. This is the hand-dyed paper. This is like an aerial image of a beautiful landscape with lots of water and grass. Some bolete printing and one of my little mushroom girls from my kit. Handmade paper, catalpa tree, red buds, that's from a vintage field guide. This is a page from my kit, very surrealist feeling, floating trees underwater with bubbles. Weeping willow, other willows, handmade paper, bolete printed paper. This is an altered paper clip here that has my batik fabric on it of these 2 moons. It began to grow darker and darker. And that holds on to this large journal card from my kit. It's printed on this nice brown stationery, and I really love how the colors are a little bit muted on that paper. It's really nice with that ivy themed girl. And then more of that beautiful aerial photography, some green dyed paper, one of the Italian fungi book pages. This is a large fabric flip of my printed botanical fabric. You'll see sumac and birch and tulip trees all planted or printed here, with a big sunflower, and underneath it we have some botanical handmade paper to write on. some fun papers, the flower press book with hand-dyed lace, info on the primrose, and another little snippet from my kit. Some beautiful paper, and this is a French encyclopedia page. Both of these pieces are from my kit, this pocket and this journal card. A little stamped tree and a painterly green forest, and these two pieces are also from my kit. This is a lovely fish illustration from a book about meadows. Hand-dyed paper. Both of these pieces are from my kit. This is a little iridescent watercolored Rolodex card that says, "Until vegetation sparkles on hillside and in dell." And these are a couple of tickets that I made. And this is some coffee dyed paper that I've made. And this is a little cluster that I made with these watercolored boletes and some lace on handmade paper with one of the pages from my kit. Some stamping on craft paper, Audubon birds, the peregrine, and info about the wild turkey, major kinds of trees, parts of a tree, all from the field guide. Another painting from my kit of this greenwood, more of that vintage field guide. This is sort of a tip up, you can see, with coffee dyed paper and a tab there, and it says "The Shadow of a Maple Tree," and there's lots of collage elements here. So we have washi tape, the background is coffee dyed paper, this is a ghost leaf that I have decoupaged on the page, we have some wool here that I've dyed to be mossy, a little collage of threads and some flowers, and this little fungus and this mushroom here, or sorry, squirrel. Another of those falcons, craft paper, a little snippet image from my kit, another page from my kit, these little mushroom stamp on coffee dyed paper, some of the Italian mushroom book, more dyed paper, more of the meadow botanical and fish. This is a pocket actually from my Apollo and Daphne kit, but I felt like it went well here with our little Amanita Forest Muse on one of my kit pages. Mushroom stamp, handmade paper. This is from my kit, this little pocket. And then inside we have a page from the flower press book on rock rose. These pieces are both from my kit. These two forest muses. Some of that meadow paper here. And some coffee dyed paper. This was from a beautiful children's nature book of mooses and deer and bison. Reminded me very much of when I was on vacation. I went to Park Omega and they have all of that wildlife at the park. And some hand-dyed paper. This is a pocket that I made with a couple pieces from my kit. One of this mushroom sort of colored couch with this figure and these mushrooms back here. And this little Catherine Mansfield label quote, "If only one could tell true love from false love as one can tell mushrooms from toadstools." It's on flower press paper, and this is a tag that I've made with a blue jay. In the back is one of those paper roll-up calendars, and I've done all sorts of collaging on it. Info about the rock rose, more of the flower press book, hand-dyed paper, and more of those sweet animals. This baby moose is so wonderful. And a little mushroom stamp, more of the meadow book, some dandelions. This piece is from my kit, this little mushroom pocket. This is just a little tag from a scrapbook pad. This is someone we haven't seen yet. So this little journal card, this gentleman has like a golden orb around him. It's a very golden picture, and these kind of bushy mushrooms behind him. That's from my kit, as is the pocket. And this is one of those fun kind of concept art pieces where the women are growing out of the woods, kind of like the mushrooms around them. Some more hand-dyed paper. This little bit is from my kit. It says fairy ring. And the last page is also from my kit. So as noted before, the paper is simple at the back, just simple and beautiful. And that is the end of this journal. We have reached the end. So the last thing that I'm going to be doing with this will be on back, I'll probably be stamping my signature and getting it ready to be plunked in my Etsy shop. So I thank you so very much. This pencil, as noted before, just pops right in here as a little writing friend. So thank you for checking out this video and this journal. You can find this journal if the video is posted now. It will be in my Etsy shop. This is the Amanita Forest Muse. So thanks everyone. I hope you have a lovely day, and we'll talk again real soon.